What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from RANTS. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Alright, so it looks like the SJW crowd on Twitter finally got what they were looking for. Gina Carano is no longer employed by Lucasfilm. She no longer will appear in a galaxy far, far away. She will not be appearing anymore. Star Wars projects, films, or a series. Basically, she's been canceled. Um, you know, I've watched a lot of stuff today about this. On YouTube, some of my favorite content creators are saying boycott Disney Plus. Hate on Lucasfilms. Don't watch The Mandalorian. All of those things. I'm not one of those. I don't believe that you should, cancel your Disney Plus subscription. I don't believe you should stop watching The Mandalorian. I don't go for boycotts. I don't really like the term boycotts. I feel like if you disagree with somebody so much that if it's that important to you, change channel. Now, as far as these Gina Carano tweets go, I love how the media is in Twitter is saying abhorrent when they are talking about her tweets. This even goes so far to say, nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. Now, from the tweets that I read, I thought the mask one was actually pretty funny. I feel like she could have worded the World War II one a little bit different. But overall, I didn't have to think too deep about what she was saying to realize that she was speaking about a broader topic than what people latched onto. Just automatically, people latched onto the World War II reference, but that's not what she was trying to say. She's basically trying to say, neighbor is hating neighbor right now here in America. It's not that anyone has to, no one's taken the time to get to know anyone or to consider other people's thoughts or to, or their points of views. We automatically hate each other because we vote differently or look differently or act differently. My goodness, that's kind of what always made America great. But at the same time, I don't, here on Rants or Us, we usually don't get very political, and that's for a reason. Because, frankly, politics just divides. But, as time goes on, it seems like it's harder and harder to get away from politics, no matter whether it's in your children's cartoons or whether it is in your sports that you watch or the TV series that you watch or your social media posts. You can't even talk politics with your family anymore. Everything's so divisive. And what I find funny about that is that the people that are always screaming unity and inclusiveness and don't judge a book by its covers are usually the people that are usually the most closed-minded in almost every single way. They're like, well, we don't judge people by the color of their skin, but if you're your gender or anything like that, that's bad. But if you're a white male, then we just don't like you anymore. It's just, it's let's face it, guys. It's racism that has become the norm. And that's just the honest truth. You could say, well, this is trying to get justice. No, might be for some, but anytime where you bring up someone's race or their gender or their belief system, I mean, you're not going down a good path. I mean, there's nothing that you can say after bringing that up that will ever lead to anything good. Um, you know, Gina Carano was a woman that didn't necessarily follow a far left narrative. She didn't fit into that normal Hollywood female profile, and she was basically. I'll go so far as say I would say she was fired for it. I think that's where all the main hate comes from. I mean, is because she didn't fit the narrative of what they consider a woman should be. So yeah, Lucasfilm, I think before you go, or Lucasfilm or Disney Plus, before you go out there and talk to my young daughter about any subjects of the day, or about how she should look upon herself and all this other kind of stuff, how about you keep it to yourself from now on? Because I seen how y'all did Rey in Star Wars. I see how you didn't care about the character very much. You didn't give her a personality. You thought her being a woman was enough. And then you call us bigoted because people pointed that out. I think even the woman that played her realized that. John Boyega, over here in America, you put him on all the television shows and you told how diverse and wonderful it was, but, that this new cast was. But then when you get to the Chinese market, you over there in China, you lower his picture down, you lower the profile. He's no longer doing the tours over there for you because that might not fit with the racist agenda that's going on over that way. And you're cool with it, which is appalling. I mean, if you want to say something's abhorrent, that's pretty abhorrent. And John Boyega had every right to call out Disney for that. So yeah, I'll just say, and I mean that fully. Lucasfilm, Disney, keep your thoughts to yourself when it comes to my little daughter. Don't be pushing your agenda on her and trying to tell her what she needs to be. My grandmother, I'll never forget, there was a cousin of mine that was talking about that very thing, about being a strong, independent female. And my grandmother, who had to take on 3 jobs because her husband got Parkinson's disease at a young age, had to take care of her little daughter, which was my mom, all by herself. Told this girl who wasn't even out of high school, told her that if you have to say it, you're not it. If you have to tell people that you're strong and independent, you're not it, because you're not showing it. People aren't going to believe you. You can spout the words till you're blue in the face, and it doesn't matter if you're female or male or whatever it may be that you're espousing. But if you have to tell people you're something, you're not it, because you're not showing it with your actions. Disney, Lucasfilm, you want to talk about glorifying female characters? Kathleen Kennedy, the Force is female. What about that? Apparently that is completely and totally forgotten in this day and age. Hypocrisy, self-awareness of what you are saying, self-reflection. Apparently that's no longer a thing anymore. If people want to bring back nostalgic shows, let's bring back nostalgic ideas. Like, I don't know, self-awareness or self-reflection. maybe, when you have Kathleen Kennedy going out wearing those shirts and talking about Rey Skywalker and about how the Force is female now, but then goes and fires Gina Carano, which was really the biggest female star you had. I would even maybe go so far as say probably the only big female star that you had, like the most popular by far. You fire her. Not because of her abhorrent tweets. Those tweets that she made, while some of them could have been worded differently, actually spoke to a greater narrative, a narrative that should have made people think more than it should have been. People should have been repulsed by it. People are, a lot of people are now kind of like, I don't want to be insulting, but they're a lot kind of like what my dog is to a certain extent. He don't understand conversations. He doesn't understand full sentences, but he understands specific words. And anytime he hears that words, his ears perk up. Well, the Twitter mob is a lot like that. In that they don't care what context specific words are used in. If someone they disagree with says it, then it's automatically racist and bigoted and whatever is there is. I mean, sometimes I'll be reading something and I'll be like, I need a thesaurus for this because I don't, our dictionary, I don't really understand, I didn't even know this was a word. Like, I feel like sometimes they just make it up on the spot, so that they can be offended by it. That you're an ist of some ways. But if Lucasfilm is going to go down this road, Lucasfilm needs to really think long and hard about cutting ties with Mark Hamill and Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal, just not too long ago, and we did a video here on Rants for Us, him comparing Trump voters to Nazis. And that's just basically what Mark Hamill does on any platform he gets every day. So, that's kind of like he wakes up in the morning and starts saying things like that. So, I will say this. If you're going to fire Gina Carano, you probably need to start cleaning house with them. Because they're what I would call pre-bigoted in that way, pre-closed-minded. That you think that just because you disagree with somebody politically that they're an evil person. I'm one that actually believes this fully and totally when I say this. I think that word Nazi should be retired from our lexicon. And I'll tell you the reason why. Is because it doesn't stand for people that have done the worst of the worst things anymore. It stands for whoever you disagree with. They don't even have to do anything bad. That word should never be spoken towards anyone or said anyone. No one should be called that unless they have committed the atrocities that happened in World War II. And if you've done something like that, then you can call somebody that. But for those that haven't done that, for those who just disagree with you politically, or just don't like, your social ideas or any other kind of things along those lines, or disagrees with you, religious or whatever kind of preference you might have, they're not that. They're not that word. They're just not. Sorry, guys. That word should be used for the worst of the worst. This shouldn't be used for anyone and everyone that I disagree with. That word has, and I'll tell you why it bothers me so much is because the Jewish community, I feel like, deserves better than that. Don't take that evil, evil word that is Nazi and make it into something that people just call anybody and everybody. It's not fair to the people that died. It's not fair to their families or their descendants or anything. It's not fair to any of them when you just make that just a word for anybody you disagree with. It's not right. If you want to talk about evil, I would almost say that's evil. And that word should just be, I think, stricken from our language because we don't use it properly. That word shouldn't be used to beat somebody over the head with anymore. I feel like that towards a number of different words. I kind of feel like anything that involves the word ism or ist maybe should be stricken from our vocabulary as well. Maybe they're just people that you disagree with. Maybe that's your average person. Maybe most of our differences can be talked through with conversation. Maybe people are more open-minded than what you think they are. Maybe you're more closed-minded than what you think you are. Maybe a little self-reflection could do a little good for everyone. That way we wouldn't have so many dang hypocrites out there. And I'm not saying I'm not one. There's times where I'll say something, or I'll begin to say something. I'm like, whoa. I'm not going to say that because then I probably said or done something in my past that kind of goes against everything that I'm saying at that moment. And so I stop myself most of the time. Not because I'm worried that people would call me out on something. It's just I have to sleep at night. I have to look at myself in the mirror. I have to be a better role model for my children than to just get up there and say whatever I think in the heat of the moment and then use that as an excuse for bad behavior. That's not how I teach my children to be. That isn't how I live my life, and that's not how I want my children to live their lives. So again, Lucasfilm, Disney, I say, when it comes to anything that involves moral high grounds, probably keep quiet from now on. Don't lecture anybody because no one, whether they're on the left or right, believes you anymore. We know what you are. We know that you're a hypocrite. We know that when you are talking about, strong female characters, you're meaning strong female characters of a political agenda that espouse to it. You're not talking about any girl. You're talking about that particular kind of girl. I think we all know that from watching anything, or anytime you go to Disney World, look at what they promote. I personally don't feel like it is healthy. I don't really feel like, to be honest, it's healthy to be so focused on your gender, your sexual orientation, your race, nor do I feel like it's healthy to focus on someone else's sexual orientation, their race, or their gender. That's the way I look at it. I live a simple life. I'm a simple man. I believe that. I believe in that, what I just said. I truly do. And I wish that Lucasfilm was the same way. I wish society in general was that way. But you know what? We reap what we sow in a lot of different ways. We created these SJW monsters on Twitter. These kids that grew up throwing fits in schools or in Walmart or wherever they might have been. Instead of correcting them, we went along with them, and now they're adults, and now they're doing the exact same thing, and that's, that's something that should have been handled in the home, and we wouldn't be having to deal with this on Twitter right now. That's the way I look at it. It's a societal problem that we gave into these spoiled brats too much. and that we still do it as adults. I don't take them very seriously. I don't take their agendas very seriously anymore, because I know that the people that scream racist or any kind of bigoted or sexist or anything like that are usually the most racist and sexist people out there. And, their Twitter account probably shows it more of that than what Gina Carano's does. But overall, guys, let me know what y'all think about this. I mean, I kind of look at it in this way. Gina Carano, you knew who you were working for. You should have, if you really, if this was an accident and you didn't really mean to cause a stir, you should have, done it maybe a little bit of self-reflection yourself and been like, you know what, I work for Lucasfilm. Probably not going to cause this storm of controversy for myself by that. If I was her, I would have got off Twitter, and then that way I wouldn't have been tempted by it. But at the same time, kind of feel like it's kind of what she wanted, and I kind of feel like the only one that got hurt out of this was Lucasfilm, The Mandalorian, and Disney Plus, because there's going to be a lot of people that now aren't going to watch The Mandalorian Season 3. And that's actually kind of sad, because that actually is probably the best thing that Star Wars has put out in a very long time. So that's disappointing. I want Star Wars to succeed, no matter who is a part of it. Pedro Pascal, I think, is kind of a horrible person, probably. At least, by his hate-filled comments. Gina Carano says something jokingly and gets in trouble for it, but he actually says really terrible things in a serious tone. And I guess that's where I maybe have a more hard line towards him than I do towards her, because what she says is a joke, he's meaning with full seriousness. But that's my take on it, guys. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know if y'all think that she should have been fired. Let me know if y'all gonna be watching The Mandalorian after this. I know, as for me, yeah, I'm going to be watching The Mandalorian Season 3. And I'm not going to cancel my Disney Plus subscription. But hey, my thoughts could change on it by tomorrow. And who knows, they might. So if I make a video a few days later after this saying polar opposite, don't judge me as a hypocrite, even though I probably am one. But as always, guys, thank y'all for watching, and y'all take care.